Well, good morning. I don't know why my picture is so blurry today. It is dark and exciting. A lot of good news in baseball. Let's see if that helps. No, not really. Anyway, there's a lot of really good news in baseball this morning, and it is dark and dreary, but who cares? The good news, the awesome news in baseball. A lot to cover. The awesome thing about baseball, it's amazing, it's awesome. The Albert Pujols, big fan of his. I've always liked him. He has a short swing, a very compact swing, and it's a very fast swing. So if you pitch the ball, he's going to have a very, very fast reaction to the ball. He's gotten older, he's a lot slower. In fact, if he gets a stolen base, it's amazing. But he hit this year, toward a couple weeks ago, he hit home run number 700. Now, in baseball, that's a rare thing. I think there's only been 5 or 6 that has actually hit the 700 mark. And Babe Ruth was number 1 at 714. So, a very, very high feat. Whether he gets the Babe Ruth mark, probably not. At this point, he's probably retiring at the end of the year. But 700 home runs, that is absolutely amazing in a career. I never thought I never knew if he was going to get it, but I knew he'd be close. But he got number 700. Congratulations, Albert Pujols. Thumbs up. That is amazingly awesome. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Maybe it could, but I like the dude. I think he's a good personality when it comes to fans and everything else too. He's just a very likable guy from what I've seen. I never met him, but from what I've seen. The mark number 2, Aaron Judge. If you are a New York Yankees fan, Aaron Judge, number 62, has the lone record for the most home runs in the American League. Most home runs ever? No, but in a season, but most home runs in the American League in a season, he has the record over Roger Maris. That's a pretty big name. Again, Mr. Judge, thumbs up. And also, thank you, my brother Jeff, for giving me the information today and the other day when Pujols got it. I know you've been keeping up with it. I thank you for letting me keep up with it. And especially with the Pujols, I'm absolutely grateful. But yeah, a couple records, a record and an amazing feat done in baseball. 700 home runs, 62 home runs for Aaron Judge in a season. Both of those, congratulations. Indians have the Texas in the first round. I don't know if they're going to make the World Series. They are playing small player ball, so they're not getting big name players. But they're doing good. And they are definitely exceeding expectations, with very young talent. Awesome stuff in baseball. National League, I really haven't kept up with. I've just been following some of those things in baseball. And part of that's because of my brother versus anything else. Thank you, Jeff, for the information. In the NFL, Myles Garrett got fined by the NFL for hitting Trubisky. They like to hand out fines for players hitting quarterbacks. It didn't look bad to me, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. But then he had car troubles, flipped his car because of speeding. Yeah, that's not a good thing. So, Myles Garrett, shame on you. As much as I like you, shame on you. Stud player, you wanted to play. Team said to sit up because of his injuries and stuff. I get it. But Myles Garrett, shame on you. The Browns are underachieving. But unlikely in that division, there is not a team better than 2-2 right now. Now, the media is making a lot of speculation about a lot of fans wanting Joe Woods fired for the Cleveland Browns. Media is making a bunch of details about Matt Rule being fired from the Panthers, saying fans want that. What the fans actually want, I don't know. But I think the media should stop saying what the fans want when they don't even interview the fans. But I guess Kenny Pickett of the Steelers is going to be starting over Trubisky. You knew he was going to be the starter at some point. Man, I had to get a drink. Throat's dried up. But just a lot of stuff to cover. Kenny Pickett starting for the Steelers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are having a little bit of struggles. And Tom Brady's having some struggles. He's also way up there in age, so when it comes to football playing, and this might be that year where he pays the price for choosing one more year and it coming back to bite him in his legacy. Now, I still think they're going to be good and okay. You get frustrated, it happens. I think they're over publicizing everything with Brady. But you aren't always at the top, and I think the Rams right now are the top team in the AFC and the NFC to beat. So there's going to be frustrations when you're trying to be an elite player and you have age against you. And right now I think that's where Tom Brady is. Now I want to dislike the guy, but honestly I think he's been good for football. I think he's been good. I mean, his numbers are exceedingly well. He's always been consistent. I really haven't followed how he's done this year, but I know he's been decent. But, I'll give him props for being very competitive. And I'll give him props for just, wanting to play. Now, it could be because of money, whatever the case, but you get to a point you just shouldn't play anymore. Brett Favre got there. A lot of them face it. Brett Favre was there. I think the last year of Peyton Manning was there. Roethlisberger probably stayed a little bit longer than he should have. But you never know. I mean, you could have the last couple of years, a final go-round that goes the way you want, and maybe you get a Super Bowl. I mean, but also, you also might have one of those last rounds where you, like Brett Favre, where you just are horrible, but you're there because of your name. Football needs to be a sport of what's happening right now versus, ooh, he's a big name, we got to start him. The pressure is always there to start your starters. But if they're struggling, you always have to be willing to sit them. And again, I'm not saying Tom Brady needs sat, but I know he struggled. And yes, I went from baseball to football. Browns started a bunch of players on the defensive line. They struggled. Defensively, they really struggled. Offensively, they struggled. Not much to say. The whole AFC North just really struggled. The Steelers are 1-3. Everybody else is 2-2. That division's wide open, obviously. Nobody is meeting expectations. I think the Bengals are on the upswing. They're going to be fine. The Ravens, defensively, they're hurting. Offensively, they have the same team. So, they're probably going to be defined in the division. The Browns are the Browns. I'm sold on Brissett. Obviously, when Watson comes back, I think he's going to be taking over as a starter. And how much rust is he going to have to get rid of before he really plays? I don't know. He's come back to Cleveland to be at least on the practice field. That'd be good for him. But Brissett has to work really hard to keep up with where he's at. You always need to. I think he has a nice rapport with Amari Cooper, who's our number one. It's one of the first times we're actually utilizing a number one like a number one. Mayfield was horrible at that. He had a couple different receivers that were number one receivers on the team. But Mayfield struggled with a lot of stuff like that. And I liked him because of his fire. But he wasn't the guy I really wanted. But hey, he's on the Browns. I'll go for it. Johnny Manziel. I couldn't stand the guy. I actually was hoping Cleveland would not pick him up, and they did because they wanted the buckets and the seats for him. He had talent, but he couldn't do his job very well. I didn't want him. We got him. Brady Quinn, another one of those, never could win the big games. Came to Cleveland, never panned out. Did not want him. We got him. Colt McCoy never got a fair chance. I think he could have had a possibility. But yeah, they ruined him. Because they got him and then they kept changing their coaches. So, who's on the hot seat? There's a lot of people on the hot seat when it comes to coaching. Matt Rule's the biggest one. Wisconsin fired their head coach. What do you guys think about all these things? Wisconsin especially, right in the middle of the season. Recruiting is going on, and now they're going to be hurting from recruits because obviously you want to go to a coach that you're familiar with, but they fired him. And me and my friend was talking about that, and I'm going to have some future videos with him on Magic. But, you know, when you have a head coach that you really like, you cannot let it get personal. I get it. I don't know what the deal is, why they got rid of him. There might be other reasons other than his record. But to do it in the middle of the season, right when recruiting is probably soft, now you're going to have an interim, then you're going to have to hire a head coach at the end of the season, and you still have recruiting going on. Players in the middle of a season that are being recruited, maybe it's a downtime, maybe it's the right time to do it, maybe it's the wrong time. I don't know. My friend thinks it's the wrong time. In the middle of the season, it's always rough when you do it in the middle of the season because you're trying to go a direction and it's not going that direction. And then you change coaching, so you have a different direction for the rest of the season, and then the next year you have a different direction because you have another coach. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Give me some thoughts, give me some opinions. But that's my sports news, sports trivia for the day. I know, no flashing pictures, but this is what I got. You guys have a wonderful day. Be blessed and be careful driving. I've seen a lot of accidents lately, and in weather where the accidents really should not be happening. Keep prayers for the person that was in the middle of the road this morning. Heart goes out for him. Like, share, subscribe, give me thumbs up. Thumbs up, just a thumbs up. But this is my sports update. And you guys be blessed. I'll see you next time.